Hey guys, Randy here again. Another video for self-improvement. These are just going over the basics. So grab your pen, grab some paper, and write this stuff down. Because I swear to you, it's gonna work a lot better for you that way. I'm actually trying to find my pen myself. Let's see. Here we go. All right, let's get started. Today's topic is gonna be about fear. And now, no matter what kind of psychological disorder that you might be going through, say you have manic depression, some sort of anxiety disorder, or say you have an eating disorder, or anything like that, there's a fear can be found at a lot of the base of these illnesses, and not just regarding mental illnesses, but just in life in general. And fear can really inhibit our growth and our desire for change, and we're gonna learn how to defeat that. All right. Well, the first thing I want to look at when it comes to fear is knowing that fear is usually an underlying basis when we're not sure of something. When you have that feeling when you don't know what to do, like, should I do this or that, or should I go for this or that? A lot of times we know what to do at the bottom of our heart. We're just afraid to do it. You know, a lot of times. Say if you're new to dating and you want to go and approach somebody, and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to say, and it's like, yeah, you do. You know what to say. You want to say hi, you introduce yourself. You're just afraid. So that's one example of that. And of course, it happens in many other instances, but that's a very general example. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see. Okay, and there's another thing too about fear. I want my anxiety to go away. I want my fear to go away. I want my fear of failure to go away. I want my fear of socializing to go away. Well, guess what? It's not going to go away. It's all about learning to feel the fear and do it anyway. And I think that there's actually a book called that. I forget the author's name. I'll leave it in the description. And it's a very good book. It's a therapeutic book. It's about having it okay to feel the fear and do it anyway. It's about taking them 2 seconds to just relax and just feel the fear and just allow it and welcome it and just achieve it. Because when you do achieve it, it's going to feel really good. And it's just one stepping stone to a long journey. And yeah, a lot of people think that I'm just going to wait until my fear goes away. Well, it's not going to go away. It doesn't just dissipate overnight. And the reason why I'm making such an emphasis on fear is that it's one of the number one causes of failure. For the reason why people don't achieve what they want to achieve. So that's why I'm bringing a big emphasis on fear. You know, for me in my life personally, I've been always afraid. I've been afraid to start a music career, even though I'm a really great singer. I was afraid to write poetry because I was afraid of being judged as emasculine when I was growing up. I was afraid to be romantic because I was afraid of being judged as feminine. I was afraid of publishing my work, my poetry, because I was afraid of failure. I was afraid to change my life and move out of Delaware and travel and do all the things I want to do because I was afraid of the unknown. And that's another topic for another day. And I was just afraid of dating because I was afraid of rejection. I just didn't feel like I deserved to be loved. I was afraid of all of those things. And when I did learn to embrace my poetry and embrace my masculinity and accepted myself, and I stepped out of fear and walked into love, loving myself, loving my life, loving to travel, loving to write poetry, and just completely accepting myself, I became a much better person. And it's a big process. But getting away from all that, that's just one example in my life, how I've conquered fear. I've been all over the United States. I was able to have a beautiful journey traveling all of the West Coast, all the way from the tip of Washington all the way down to Mexico, all for $350. And I did it because I wasn't afraid. I wasn't afraid of my car breaking down. I wasn't afraid of going hungry. I was a little afraid of still running out of gas, but I did it. because I know at the end of the day, I'm okay. And And there's another instances that you want to jot down that I really want you to take this homework. And I really want you to think about your life and think about all of the stresses that we think about, all the things we worry about, all the things that we're afraid about. Oh my gosh, am I get this on time? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna forget to pick her up from the grocery store. I'm gonna forget this or that, or anything that you're afraid about in your life. And ask yourself, how many of those horrible things in your life, like failing out of school, or doing this, or getting hooked on drugs, or living on the streets, or living in a cardboard box. Think about all those fears and ask yourself, how many of those things have really happened? How bad has my life really gotten? And take a minute to let that sink in, about all those things that you fear about all the time that you probably wasted, and all that energy that you could have walked into love and using that to re-energize your life. And think about that. And I want you to think about something else. Think about all the time that you spent worrying. When's enough enough? When is the time to take that next step in your life? To say, hey, I want to make a change. I want to make a difference. I want to be the man or the woman that I've always dreamed of. Or at least take a step in the right direction. Or have a good start. That's something to really think about. And also, with fear, we want to think about the social anxiety perspective, because I know that's a huge one of people who are watching this video. I'm trying to think about my audience too. A lot of people who I run into spend a lot of their time online. They're too afraid to interact because they're afraid of being judged. They just don't know what to do, and they just live a life in fear, of underlying fear. And there are some people that are introverted and okay with being introverted, but I want to talk to the people that are socializing. And are afraid of socializing. I want to talk to them very specifically. And with their fear, I think it's really important to understand. Keep yourself in a global mindset, in a sense where, well, I remember this moment 20 years from now. Who will remember this moment 20 years from now? Who will remember this moment 30 years from now? Who will remember this moment 100 years from now? Who will care if I go up and talk to this person and just say hi? And for those people that are suffering from that fear, a nice little tip to write down is just to start small. Don't overwhelm yourself with a full-blown conversation. You can start by, when you walk by somebody, just smile. Or you can just give eye contact. Smile with your eyes. Make it genuine. Don't just smile like this, because that's weird. You gotta smile with your eyes too. That's more natural. People who forget to smile with their eyes. Another thing too is just say hi, because you don't have to say anything when you're walking by. Nobody's obligated to say anything. Just say, hey, what's up? Or hey, hi, how you doing? It might sound silly, but it really gets the ball going until you're ready to try to do some more advanced techniques, like saying, hi, how you doing? Oh, how's the weather? And then that's the next step. Small talking. We all hate it, but it fills in walls, and it's really good for helping people open up more used to talking. So that's another thing with social anxiety and fear. Now, social anxiety is completely different, because it can be so crippling. I'm still afraid to talk in groups. I'm 27. I have over 10 years of scholastic experience in psychology. I've been studying psychology since I was 14, and I still have problems in groups. I just go back into my shell. But what really helps is learning to listen. And I know conversations can move really quickly, and we're afraid of just losing the moment. But I think what really helps is just to listen and to ask really genuine questions that we talked about before, about what's your passion? What are you doing? What's one of your goals? Do you like traveling? A lot of people like traveling too. There's a lot of things you can go with, and a lot of times is you're thinking too much in your head. You're just so afraid. You're just thinking and thinking and thinking, and you're too in your head. Like, what should I say here? What should I say now? I don't want to lose the conversation. Enjoy the moment. Just loosen up those shoulders, because you'll naturally just feel relaxed if you just loosen your shoulders, and then you go from there. You you go and just live with the moment. Because the more you're in your head, the less you think, the less you're kind of listening. The less you're thinking about what I should say next, the less you're listening. So just listen and just shut up for a minute. So that really helps too. It's just to listen and just stay in the moment, you know. And sometimes you can just be really direct. I know I've said this and it helps a lot. You're like, you know what? Hey, I'm a little socially awkward, you know, help me out here. I don't know what to say next. I'll give you a chance to speak. Or, you know, I really don't know what to say. That's another thing too. I really don't know what to say. That's something to say too. Let's see what's else on this book. Yeah, I'm cheating. And I have no shame because my short-term memory is terrible. Let's see what we got here. With fear is a huge one, and remember to be patient with yourself. Social anxiety is a huge thing. We let too many people define us. We let too many people's perspectives define us way too much, and that's a problem. We have to define ourselves in a sense. We have to be okay with ourselves to find out what's important to us. Because honestly, a lot of people just put way too much pressure on themselves to be the most socially competent person in the world, and it just doesn't happen. Just relax and know that there are 6 billion other people in the world, and the ones that you should really care about how they think of you are probably your friends and your family, because they're the ones that matter the most to you, not these random strangers that you're going to meet and all these peers that you're going to meet. And sure, if you're in a college dorm, you might have to deal with them, but just remember, I know first impressions are important, but just having a genuine interest in other people will bring you a long way. That will take you through your social anxiety. That will help you through your fear. That just genuine interest. That's another thing to write down, because people are naturally attracted to that, because people's favorite subject of themselves, it shows compassion. It's in our spirit. It's one of the fundamental cardinal traits of us as human beings, is having that compassion. And when they sense your compassion, when they sense your genuine interest, they're gonna be like, you know, I want to talk to this person because they're actually genuinely interested in me. And just listen. That's what helps a lot of people, is that sometimes you just have to listen to them. Like, what's your day like? What are you stressing out about? Are you ready for the Christmas season? And just relate to them on an emotional level. Remember that. Use that in your toolbox. Know that everybody is founded with emotion. Everybody has a different life, a different lifestyle, but they all have emotions, and that's what we all can relate on. So if you're ever stuck, ask them what does that feel like, or what was that experience like, or what did you learn from that, or how did that change you as a person? But that's enough for now, and that's enough for fear for now. We're going to talk a little bit on that, but that's the basics on how fear can really cripple your life, and those are some ways to kind of break free. This is to start small, realizing that nobody's going to remember this 20 years from now. Realize how long has this fear, whatever you have, how long has it been crippling your life, and when is enough? And know to start small. And know that fear is never going to go away, like we talked about before. It just have to kind of feel the fear and do it anyway. And it was good talking to you guys. Drop a line, leave a like. I'll be here. You guys have a good night. All right, bye-bye.